All right, good morning. Now, just an addition to what I've been trying to ingrain into our hearts concerning trading. Now, I want to draw our attention to this eye here, these two eyes, this first one here, and this second one here. So, I'm going to place my trend line on this place and then try to draw our attention to something very important as pertains to trading. Now that's an old eye. That's like a sell side liquidity. Um, no, that's a buy side liquidity. So in my mind, what I try to look for when price start to appear in this kind of areas is a very simple stuff. I want to number one go to lower time frame, and then I want to check is there a trending market on the lower time frame. If there is, okay, I want to wait for something specific. But if the market is not trendy but has fair value gaps around it, there's also something specific I'm looking for around those market price. So in that case, if it is in a trending case, I want to see a break of market structure. But if it is in a case where it is not trendy but we are having fair value gaps around it, I want to see fair value gaps invalidated. And that's what I look for in my typical trade. So let's go down to lower time frame. This is a 3-month time frame. That's where I start my analysis from. That's very important for you to be able to start your analysis from there too. Very, very important. So going down to the lower time frame, let's go to a monthly time frame to check something specific also. Now, this is the lows I highlighted on the lower time frame here. I mean on the higher time frame, the 3 months time frame. This is the old highs that price actually traded into. So I don't want so much stuff on my chart. So look at this old high here. Price actually traded into it again. This is a monthly time frame, and then you can see that price now begin to reject lower down. So what would have been in place that would have make me to want to take this trade aside from the old high? Because normally when price enter into old high, I'm expecting some form of rejection lower. So once I see an old high, then my next what I'll be looking for next is there a fair value gap, an imbalance that price would want to retrace into after taking out that old high. That's one of the things I look for on the higher time frame. And we can see on this monthly time frame that there is no fair value gap. We can only see old lows. So I'll have to go down to lower time frame, like a weekly time frame, to check is there something reasonable about this old high that I can use to trade. Now I'm going down to the weekly time frame. Now something specific. What can we see here? We can see that there was an old high here which price have entered into very well, and then there is a fair value gap that price has left behind. So what was that telling me? It is telling me that okay, price can retrace. It's not that price must retrace. Price can retrace, but I won't just trade it anyhow. I will have to wait for it to do all its gyration before I will actually take my actions on it. And my actions will be based on some specific things that I'm going to show us on a lower time frame, so that this can give us a better understanding. If you're not seeing those things, you cannot take a trade except you see them. Now let's go to daily time frame. So the first thing we've established is the stop point, which we have seen on the 3-month time frame. And then now what do we see here? And we have seen a fair value gap that I highlighted to us on the lower time frame. This is the fair value. I mean, on the higher time frame, this is the fair value gap that price should return into. So that's the place I'll be seeking to take my profits if I'm able to establish a position around the stop point area. Do we understand? All right, so after the stop point, this is the daily time frame. Price did a lot of gyration, moved around it. It was making higher highs, higher low. Price still came, went into this area here, took out the high, created an higher low. Then it's failed to take out this high, and then broke market structure. That's where I labeled BMS. So once I see this signature around where price have recently taken out buy side liquidity, I saw a trendy market and then a break of market structure, the last higher low, and then the formation of fair value gap like this. That's a trade for me. So in your own trading, you want to be looking for this thing. If you don't see it, you cannot trade. If you don't see this kind of setup, you cannot trade. Just leave the market alone. You cannot trade. So once you see a trending market, an old high, and then you now see a break of market structure like this, that's what you want to be trade. That's what you want to be looking for. Yes, so let's say this long candle that broke market structure was on Thursday. This was Friday trading. So this candle here, this little candle here, let me zoom this thing more so that we can appreciate what I'm trying to show us here. This candle here, this little candle here, and then this large bearish candle, and then this small bullish candle that formed on the 3rd of January 2025. That is the fair value gap I would have used. So I draw it out. I drew it out actually. I tried to trade this thing day, but it didn't fill out my position or something sharp, and I wasn't able to trade it. So we can see that price entered into it and then into the midpoint of the fair value gap on the daily time frame, and you can see that it began to pour down vigorously. Where will my target be? My target will be this fair value gap. That is the most sensible target to have to take my profit, is this fair value gap. Is either I target the beginning, the high of the fair value gap, or the midpoint where this price is coming into. So these are like trade ideas that I want to be taking. These are like trade ideas that I want to be taking. Is either I see an inversion fair value gap, or I see a break of market structure on the 4 hours like this. I mean on the daily time frame like this. And then if you go on to the 4 hours time frame, you can see how price began to move from fair value gaps to fair value gaps to fair value gaps, fair value gaps to fair value gaps to fair value gap. In fact, I missed entry from here. This was the fair value gap. I missed my entry from here, but I was able to take the entry very close around that area. I was able to take the entry very close around that area. My positions, orders, brackets, execution, just the line there. Okay. So I was able to take the trade. I wasn't able to take it from here, but I was able to take the trade from here, from this area here, and then it went against me for some time. Then this morning it began to trade lower. It began to trade lower here, and I'm expecting to take my profit around this 500,000 area here. So that was where I'm supposed to take my profit, but I had missed my entry from here. It was so painful. The first entry I was supposed to take was from here. I missed it. I missed my entry from here. So, but I was able to get my entry from this candle here. I was able to take my entry, and then you can see that the trade has prospered onto that area we are looking for it to come. So that's how I take my trade from. Is a whole lot of week. this is the sources I'm having here today. Is not it's not like I came into the chart today yesterday and it's in the whole of last week I was trailing it, I was following it, seeing if there is a possibility, checking to see my confirmation, what give me confidence to enter a trade. I was checking it, and eventually the trade came as I wanted it to come, and that's how I go about my trading actually. Not so much, but with the little I'm able to do, the little I'm able to look for, once I see it, that's my trade, and it work out for me. Do we understand? So there are times I miss setup. There are times I miss my trade setup, but all in all, I get a good setup. No matter what the case may be, I get good setups at times, and it works for me. So hopefully you've gained something from here. This is kind of like my list, what I look for in a particular trade. I must probably price approach a monthly old high. I'll be watching it from there. I want to see the day it will break market structure. Once it does that, I'm already trailing it. It will break market structure on daily or 4 hours. I'm looking for a fair value gap. Once that fair value gap has formed, I set my position and then I'll be waiting for it. Is there a place I can offload my position, like a place that I can reasonably say that price must come into, especially fair value gaps like this? Once I see those areas, I know that if I take my trade from up here, coming down here, it will be a whole lot of profit for me. So aside from looking for where price should return, you want to look for the opposing place that price should trade into. Do you understand? So like this trade is kind of like old high versus fair value gap. Yes, the distance between this old high and this fair value gap was what I traded, and that's a good trade for me. If you know how to look for it, if you know how to frame it, it's a good trade setup. Old high versus fair value gap. If you can find it, wait for it to form, and once it forms, enter it. That's your trade. So hopefully you have gotten a value from this. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.